Super-duper-doo, how are you? Do you love to eat food? If you love to eat food, coming into the kitchen is probably a really great idea. And in my kitchen today, I've got some really interesting things to consider about food. One of my favourite things, and I don't know how to put it, I just love the smell of fresh tomatoes. Love these. If I leave them sitting on my kitchen bench for a few days, they will ripen beautifully, of course, and then they will rot. They will ripen and then rot, and then you can't eat them anymore. So they have a limited time frame of when you can eat them. This bowl of chocolate, on the other hand, has been here for quite a while and probably could stay here for a few years longer even, and the chocolate's not going to rot away. Milk in a long life container can last a very long time. Milk in this kind of container, after a few days, particularly if you leave it out on the kitchen bench, it will go rotten, it will go sour, it will go lumpy, and you can't drink it anymore. This one's okay, this one will rot. So here's a great question. Rather than somebody telling you what to eat and giving you guidelines and or a diet and or very strict regulations of what you can have, can't have, mustn't have, shouldn't have, and there's lots of people that will tell you that, whether it's a social media influencer or a doctor or a naturopath or a chiropractor or a dietitian, there's a lot of people that will tell you what to eat. But the question that I always ask is this: if you were your own high performance eating and exercise coach, what advice would you give yourself about your exercise, and what advice would you give yourself about your food? And one of the things about food that I think is very, very personal, is it possible there are foods that you don't like? So you might not like tomatoes. I've got people in my life that would never eat a tomato, they hate it. I've got people in my life that would never drink milk, they hate it. I've got people in my life that would never eat chocolate. I'm not sure they hate it, they just would never eat it because they think it's a bad food. So food's a very personal thing. So if somebody gives you a diet, they give you an eating plan, they give you recommendations and suggestions on what you could eat, what if it doesn't fit in with you? So I can never understand that. What I love about being an exercise professional is when you're healthy, fit and strong, when you have a strong body, a fit body and an endocrine system and a hormonal system that is fit and strong, your body will tell you when you're hungry, it'll tell you when you're full. So if I go a step further than that, if I'm hungry, I'm going to eat food, but what do I need to eat? Is it possible that if you listen to your own body, it will tell you? So if you don't like tomatoes, your body's not going to say you should eat some tomatoes because you don't like them. But it might say you need some vitamin C. So it might be orange juice, it might be strawberries, it might be potato, something with vitamin C in it, because that's what your body needs at the moment. If you don't drink milk and you don't like milk, your body might not say drink milk because you don't like it. But your body might be saying to you, well, you need to have some nuts, or you need to have some yogurt, or you need to have some cheese, or you need to have some kind of protein, and your body will tell you what you need. Now, isn't that exciting? I think that's just an ultimate way to live. Listen to your own body rather than a social media influencer or somebody who doesn't know anything about you. But if your body's busted and broken, if your endocrine system's busted and broken, then of course that doesn't work. You eat when you're not hungry, you eat too much because your body doesn't tell you that you're full, and your body doesn't tell you what you need, so you just eat anything. So for me as an exercise professional, I always focus on let's get you as fit and strong as possible, and then your body, the nutrition that your body needs will look after itself. Eat when you're hungry, stop eating when you're full, eat all the foods that you love and don't eat the foods that you don't like. If you were going to create some kind of eating plan for somebody, and I hope you never do because everybody's different, and shouldn't we be asking what do you like to eat, what don't you like to eat, what are you eating at the moment and why do you eat that way, where do you like to eat, what times of the day do you like to eat. There's lots of things about food that people who are giving advice about food will tell you what to do, but they don't know any of those things about you. I think that's really interesting. But if we just look at pure logic and common sense, the answer could be sitting here on my kitchen bench. The suggestion is eat less food that humans have screwed around with. Because if humans have screwed around with it, it means it's got chemicals in it, it's been highly processed, it's got stuff in it that may adversely affect your body versus make you feel fantastic. And isn't that ultimately what we want from our food? To have a stack of energy, perform at our best, love what we see in the mirror and love how our body feels to touch, and to get the results that we want. And everybody's got a different reason for eating food. Some people it's for pleasure, some people just eat purely for performance, some people eat for both. Some people's performance is 42.2 kilometers for a marathon, and some people need to have the energy to sprint for 10 seconds. So the requirements or the results that we want, the energy that we want from our food is different. But it's interesting when it comes to energy because there's a lot of information out there about nutrition. But ultimately, there are 4 macronutrients: carbohydrate, protein, fat, and alcohol. And they are made of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. And protein has the nitrogen in it, the other ones don't. So it's a basic, simple focus on if I get those things, I won't die. And I always have a giggle about that. If I'm out in the desert and I'm starving, hungry, I'm going to die because I haven't eaten any food, and I come across this bowl of chocolate, if I eat it, I'll stay alive because it's got carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen in it. If I come across a bag of tomatoes and I eat them, I'll stay alive because this is a carbohydrate, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. If I come across a big, let's say this, I've churned this up into butter and I've got a big bucket of butter, which is fat, then again, I'll stay alive if I eat it. If I come across a carton of beer and I drink the beer, you might not want to drink it, and your body might say, I don't like to drink beer, or I don't want to eat it, an animal, which is if you came across an animal, cooked or uncooked, if you ate it, you would stay alive. That's how simple nutrition can be. So they're the questions that I would love you to ask. And first of all, why would you ask other people? Why not just learn your anatomy and physiology for yourself? What are the 4 macronutrients? How do they work in the body? Where do we get them from? How do we store them? How do we utilize them? How do we burn them off? How quickly can we burn them off? And if you've got a fit, strong body, is it possible that you'll burn everything you put into your body because you've got a fast metabolism, and you don't eat too much because your body tells you to stop eating because you're full, because your endocrine system's working? That's how exciting it is when you're fit and strong. If you're really looking for guidelines for food, how about eat less food that humans have screwed with? And how about eat less foods that are highly processed and have lots of chemicals in them? So if food rots quickly, so that's meat, fish, vegetables, fruit, they all rot in a pretty quick period of time, then maybe they're the things that have got less chemicals in them, so they're probably healthier for you. And I don't even like to use the word healthy because some people think that being a carnivore is healthy, some people think that being a vegan vegetarian is healthy, some people think that you should eat once a day, some people think that you should eat 3 times a day, some people think you should eat 5, 6, 7 times a day. There's lots of different opinions about food. So that's why I always ask, what do you love to eat? What don't you like to eat? And why would you eat food that you don't like? And why would you not eat the foods that you do love? Because you end up cranky, angry that you can't have them, or you binge on them because you want them. Isn't that what happens? So eat what you love, don't eat what you don't like, eat when you're hungry, stop eating when you're full. And the stuff that you eat, how about listen to your own body? Get really fit and get really strong, and your body will tell you what you need. And if you pick up a label, and this is the interesting thing about this, is a highly processed form of milk because it lasts a long time. It's got lots of preservatives in it. So if you read the label, you go, wow, I don't know what that is, and I don't know what that is, and I don't know what that is, because there's they're chemicals that you probably never heard of before unless you're some kind of scientist or biochemist. So let's not make food confusing, and let's enjoy our food. If you love to eat food and somebody tells you that you can't have, mustn't have, don't have, shouldn't have because it's a bad food, I'm going to ask the question again, is it possible that at some stage in the future you'll binge on it, or you will get angry because you can't have it? And if you're angry, what does that do to your mental health? If you eat it and you feel guilty, what does that do to your mental health? What does that do to the stress levels in your body? And surely food shouldn't be a stressful experience. I would love everybody to love their food, eat for performance and for pleasure, so you can live your life to the max. Super duper doo, how are you living your life to the max? Woohoo!